Hey everybody, what's going on? I am Mo is a tool, and with me I have here Ignite the Ice, and we're here to be commentating BaeDCarry Fan Club versus Hot Take. Not sure if I mispronounced the BaeDCarry Fan Club's name, but we'll just roll with it. What's up, Ignite the Ice? How you doing today?
Not too bad, not too bad. Watching these teams go through their bans already. They got some interesting picks and bans starting already.
Yeah, so just to run through the picks really quickly for everybody who just hopped on stream, we weren't able to stream it due to some difficulties on our end. But we have, for Hot Take, we have Morgana, Jin, Clyde, Fiddlesticks, Galio. And then for BaeDCarry Fan Club, we have Lulu, Caitlyn, Nasus, Gragas, and Talon. So a very, very team fight heavy comp from Hot Take side. And then a similar but not exactly the same sort of comp from BFC, where they also kind of want to win team fights as well, but they can also open up the map with split pushing and more of a protect carry type of team play.
So they've got a lot of 1v1 potential with the Nasus and the Talon.
Exactly, yeah. And it's really up to those two champions to sort of open up the map a lot. Caitlyn, I would expect the Gragas on BFC side to be ganking Talon and Nasus the most and enabling them. And Caitlyn Lulu is just sort of a, hey, like, just stay in the back for now and just farm up. We'll get to you once Dragon's up or once we get to mid game, and that way we can actually get you really rocking and rolling. Because Nasus into Clyde, it's not a bad lane at all for the Nasus. You have a ton of utility from the W onto Clyde from both the movement speed, and if Clyde is knocked off his horse, I don't know what animal that is. I think it's like a dinosaur or something.
Scarl!
Yeah, once he's knocked off of Scarl, even then the Wither stays. So it's actually a really good pick, but he has no damage early game. So he's going to be relying on Gragas to set something up for him and then get him rolling in that lane. And that way he can be an absolute beast once he hits level 6, which is a really big power spike for him. And then he can just absolutely ruin the Cloud's day. So very excited to see how that matchup turns out.
Yeah, Nasus is one of those champions you almost just like, you shoot for a 35-minute game. You're like, we're just aiming here because we're going to win. So I think they've got their job out for him early, at least. Hot Take does, in making sure that this Nasus doesn't get rolling, because you start him rolling early, and we got a really scary situation that they're going to have to deal with.
Yeah, and BFC has some early game insurance, so they have the Gragas and they also have the Talon. The Talon, I'm not actually 100% a fan of into the Galio. I don't think that that's a very, very hard win for Talon. Typically, you would want to pick an assassin here if it's something that you know for sure that it's a very, very good pick into. So it isn't the best matchup for Talon. However, he does have a slight early game advantage, I would want to say. So it's going to be up to him to sort of roam around the map before Galio can hit 6 and figure out where he wants to be, maybe get his bot lane rolling or gank for the Nasus as well. So,
Right.
yeah, that's basically the Talon's job for this game.
Honestly, I think I would have liked to have seen a Zed in place of the Talon. I think a Zed into the Galio would have been, especially with the more pick-oriented team comp that they've got going on. I think the Zed would have really allowed them to just get picks all over the map. I mean, the Talon has kind of the same. It looks like they're trying for the same thing with the Talon, but I feel Zed would have been a more efficient pick here.
Yeah, I'm also a bigger fan of the Zed here instead of Talon. I think Zed definitely has a way easier time laning into Galio. If Galio's trying to taunt you, you can W away and then like ult back in, or you have like so many options as Zed. Whereas with Talon, it's sort of, I don't want to say one dimensional, but like it's very, very obvious when a Talon's coming into you, as long as you're staying away from a wall. Now, if you're by a wall, it's sort of a different story. But
Right.
even then, Galio can still just very easily, shield up, taunt you, and then just walk away on his merry way back to his turret. So it's not the best lane for Talon, but it is definitely something he can work around because on the enemy team you have a Fiddlesticks, and Fiddlesticks is a very, very slow jungler. Now, he's pretty good at clearing and all that, and it's very unlikely that he's going to find him very low, around level 5, level 6. But if Fiddlesticks is like level 2 or level 3, you can actually find him in pretty compromising positions where Fiddlesticks can easily be killed. So maybe that is the game plan here, where they just want to absolutely abuse the Fiddlesticks and just sort of just go in mid lane because the Galio is never going to push turrets really fast, and Talon Gragas can absolutely just roam around everywhere and ruin Fiddlesticks' day. So I wonder if that's the sort of strategy that they're going for, like a very invasion-heavy strategy. But I guess we'll have to see.
Indeed. Fiddlesticks isn't really that strong until you get a couple of points into that drain, to give him some sustain in the jungle. If Gragas decides to invade him early, I think you're right. I think he's going to have trouble, the Vid anyway, dealing with it.
Yeah, and Fiddlesticks really wants to stand still while he deals with people, especially a Gragas. So if the Gragas can time his E properly and interrupt the Fiddlesticks' drain, or if he uses it to catch up to the Fiddlesticks and Fiddlesticks starts Wing him, Gragas can actually preemptively throw out a Q and then have that like basically ready to pop as soon as the drain is going off on Fiddlesticks. So
stop him from getting that final pop of damage as drain ends.
Yep. So it's going to be a very interesting jungle matchup. I would expect the Gragas to be playing this very, very aggressively, if not directly invading, then at the very least, going for very greedy steals, greedy warding, and like very aggressive ganks early game, especially with the Nasus. You have so much setup on the side of Nasus's Wither into the Kled. So
Right. I'm wondering if we're actually going to see an invade from one of these teams to try and get the jungler shut down before they can get anything going. On the side of Hot Take, they really want to keep that Gragas from being able to find the Fid in the jungle. And, on the side of BaeDCarry, they want to shut down this Fid in the jungle because he's a nice, easy target. 25?
I am, yeah.
31, 32, 33.
Right.
All right. And it looks like we do have an invade coming in from the side of... Oh, does she... Morgana
And the
nails the
Morgana.
snare. They're going in. They say, we do want this fight. We do not want anybody taking our jungle.
Yeah, and that was actually a very, very good snare. I think that what happened there was essentially the Gragas went for a ward there. I believe that's his ward that we see. And he got, I think, a little too close for comfort. So Morgana shoots out the snare, it lands, but not enough follow-up damage there, which is to be expected. They have a Fiddlesticks and a Jhin who take a really long time to deal meaningful damage. So both sides kind of walk away from that. And
Jhin tried to get his snare out for the double lockdown, but it didn't land.
Yeah. So Fiddlesticks is being leashed the red, and we actually have here, it seemed like Twitch and Lulu, Caitlyn and Lulu were about to walk through or wait in the tri-bush, but decided against it since it was warded. So now they're going to be hard shoving for that level 3. Or level 2, sorry.
Grab that early level 2 advantage on Caitlyn and keep that range advantage that you're always going to have, and you have yourself
we already see the Galio somewhat abusing the Talon. Talon does hit level 2 first, so he lands very meaningful damage back to Galio.
The Talon damage onto the Galio, though, it's heavy.
Yeah. And this is definitely one of the few windows Talon has to really sort of dominate the lane, is right now, basically. With
bot lane, though, answering with extra damage back onto the Jhin. BaeDCarry is pecking away at the tower already.
Yeah, and we see already a lot of damage being taken by a Hot Takes team so far in the bot lane, which is to be expected. Caitlyn heavily outranging, but we have a scuffle happening topside as well.
Small little exchange. But then they're back out. Both teams looking like they're trying to rush a level so they can get into fighting position.
Yeah, very aggressive laning so far, but not matched by junglers yet, which is why we don't really see kills. Junglers are very focused right now on hitting their level 3, maybe even level 4. Gragas does have Predator, so that is an option that he has when he's going to be looking for Hot Takes bot lane here. So after his blue buff, we're going to have to see where he goes. Galio does get a good ward down, but it's immediately spotted by Gragas pointing out, busting out a plant. As we see here, Nasus just farming away.
Gragas back in the jungle. He looked like he was about to gank the bot lane there, but oh, Morgana gets a good snare onto the Lulu, and Jhin gets a follow-up snare. She takes heavy damage and forced to back out.
And I bet that Gragas is just kicking himself in the foot right now. That is wondering why he wasn't there a little sooner in the bot lane, but just jungle things.
I think if he'd followed through with his original plan, that would have been a kill on the bot lane. But now Fallen taking heavy damage from the Caitlyn. Caitlyn saying, I'm just going to repeat what you tried to do to me. Megaloblastic also falling a bit low.
Yeah, and I sympathize with the Gragas as a jungle main because, again, you have so many different things to be worrying about as a jungler, especially in the current meta, that you don't really always know what the best option is. So he does go for the farm there instead. So bot lane, his bot lane actually still coming out ahead on the trade.
It looked like he might have actually seen the ward that Galio put down and knew that he was, knew that he was in vision, and so went back into his jungle.
Yeah, that was exactly what happened actually with the plant pop.
So Galio getting some damage down onto the Talon. Talon tries to return, but it's not really enough. He's forced to back out. Galio's saying, all right.
Yeah,
and looking for a reset on the lane.
Very heavy blows being exchanged already. Morgana gets a very cheeky recall interrupt there on Lulu. So actually the bot lanes, BFC's bot lanes backs are going to be very staggered here as we see mid lanes farming away still. Talon
Morg tried. Oh, Morg does stop the Lulu back again. Oh, that's got to be annoying. Lulu unable to back now, and Caitlyn almost returned from base.
That is actually very annoying because I believe Lulu has yet to recall at all.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Just one item.
She doesn't get a chance to back. She's now forced to stay because Caitlyn has returned from her back. That was really good on Mego's part to keep the Lulu from being able to gain any more strength. Talon getting his ult, popping it to get out of the gank from Fid mid.
Nasa's popping out his ghosts. Very
Oh,
scared.
a snare from the Morg and a follow-up snare from the Jhin. Getting heavy damage out onto the Kate. It looks like Gragas is going to try and get some plays made down in bot lane while we watch Galio push in his mid. Nope, Gragas decides against it.
Yeah, so Galio, one thing to note, is level 6 here. So he does want to go ahead, help out his jungler, Fiddlesticks, when Fiddlesticks starts looking for very, very aggressive ultimates. And that way Fiddlesticks also has a pretty sizable shield on him going in. But it doesn't seem like it's the play for now, just because Galio's pretty low on mana. And I feel like he really needs to recall as he's sitting just on the Doran ring still. And same thing with Talon. Talon has yet to recall as well. So very, very farm heavy, but aggressive.
Ooh, we get a fight in the mid lane. Taunt goes out on Talon, keeps the Galio alive, but just barely. Talon gets the ignite out on the Galio, and he is forced to retreat.
Yeah, so Galio wanted to recall there anyway, so it's not really a big deal. The bigger deal is the flash for ignite. So Galio is teleporting
and TP
here.
now coming in also. Doesn't even get his full health back.
And that may very well be problematic, especially as we see Gragas trying
exactly.
But we'll see how passively Galio plays. As the snare from Morgana doesn't land, the Jhin, I believe W does, but not a
Jhin
lot.
taking some heavy damage from the Kate Q there. Nasus looking like he wants to fight.
Yeah, Nasus is feeling very, very comfortable right now.
He's got a giant minion wave going. Says, yeah. Kled, come here.
Somewhat behind in CS, but that's to be expected when you're playing Nasus.
Kled misses the bear trap. Nasus gets the attacks back onto him. Says, if you're going to miss, I'm going to punish you for it. Oh, heavy damage coming out. Skarl now gone. Nasus goes hard in, gets his ult, gets his wither out, gets his Q. Is he going to survive? Yes, he is. He says, not today, not today.
Very unfortunate that Kled actually gets away from the Nasus there. I could see the exact thought process.
Oh, the Fid ult in on the BaeDCarry goes down. Caitlyn, first blood
and we
to the Fiddlesticks.
Coming through as well.
Just fast. Oh, Galio catches the Lulu in the river. They got 3-4 going onto the Lulu now. Is she going to be able to get out of this? The Morg snare says, no, she is not.
And that was actually very, very clean. As we expected from Hot Takes Team Comp, they're very, very level 6 oriented. They really want to use that Fiddlesticks ulti, and that's exactly what happens. They get the first kill, and then they also get the second one just by pure roaming from the mid lane. So very heads up play from the mid laner there.
And first dragon falls in the flurry, and Gragas going in on top lane. He says, no way, we're going to make sure. Oh, but Axiom gets the outplay. Gragas goes down. The outplay is a double kill. Nasus is going down also. Kled is saying, no way, this is my lane. I don't care what you guys do. I'm keeping it.
That was very, very aggressive. You could tell that both Requiem and Cacti did not know what hit them right there, just because neither of them used their summoner spells to get away. The Kled heavily punishing them for a fairly greedy dive. It could have worked if, for instance, Nasus started tanking and popped the ghost, and then they did a little bit of a dance, but definitely not what happened there. And Kled walks away with a double kill under turret, and things are going from slightly bad to slightly worse for BFC. They are very late game focused, but they still need somewhat of a lead.
Double snare goes down to the Caitlyn. Oh, but she returns fire on the Jhin, falling down to fucking half health. Megaloblastic stepping between them, but Fallen takes even more from the Caitlyn Q. Oh, both falling super low. Caitlyn are coming out, and down goes Morg.
Yeah, the Morg didn't want to, you know, hide behind the Jhin there. Would have been a little counterproductive, but
we get a kill onto the side of BaeDCarry. It's still a 4-1 lead in favor of Hot Topic. Kled going in on the Nasus. Nasus pops his ult, pops his... crap, I forget the name of his circle thing.
I actually don't know the name of that either. And I'm a Nasus player, so it's fine.
Oh! Kled taking heavy damage from the Q, from the combo from Nasus. I'm gonna forget the circle thing's name for a little while and just call it the combo.
No, very, very...
Also, Galio going in on the Talon. Talon popping his ult in order to stay away. Both of them taking pretty heavy damage.
And the Gragas is trying to invade here. He's trying to see or actually, no, sorry. The Gragas is just looking for his own Krugs, but...
we got a Rift going top lane.
Yep, popping that Rift Herald, and a lot of gold going on to Kled's side. So if they were looking for the counter pick with the Nasus, so far it has not borne much fruit.
It hasn't worked out too much. Kled getting the claptrap onto the Gragas. Says he's gonna go for it all the way. He's ulting him, he goes in, he's killing the Gragas and taking on the Nasus at the same time. This Kled is out of his mind. Just the crazy Kled that's even always seen. He says, no, I'm still going in. It takes down the Nasus under his own turret. This is starting to look really bad for the side of BaeDCarry.
Almost any other champion in the game, when your health is that low, it is a terrible, terrible idea to tower dive, especially a Nasus. But Kled, because he can pop off a Snarl and juggle that turret aggro with the Fiddlesticks, makes it look easy. And so, Hot Take, still very, very decisively in the lead. We do see that one kill that Caitlyn got earlier, but that's essentially it. So they need to heavily... BFC needs to mitigate this gold lead as much as possible. It's right now sitting at about 2,000 to 3,000 gold.
Just under 3k gold lead on the side of Hot Topic.
Yeah, and the Caitlyn is very, very ahead in CS, so I would expect to see some jungle pressure here from both teams very, very shortly, trying to either stop this Caitlyn from getting ahead or get the Caitlyn very, very ahead, because the Caitlyn is very much BFC's sort of...
I think they're putting all their eggs in the Caitlyn basket right now.
Yeah, very much so. Nasus really needs to farm, and with that top lane turret being gone, he doesn't have a lot of insurance that he won't just get ganked over and over again by a Kled who wants nothing more than this.
Yep, exactly. Kled going in on the Gragas. Gragas falling down quickly. Talon's going to try and help out, but he knows he's not going to be able to do much. He tries to get out as fast as he can. 2 snares missing. I think Talon is out on that fight, but Kled just showing why he can be so scary. Oh no, he says, I'm still going in. Kled getting onto the Talon. Talon going down. What are they going to do about this Kled? He is a monster, still going in. The polymorph coming out from the Lulu. And the ult onto Caitlyn. Caitlyn's throwing down her heavy damage onto the Kled. But Kled's able to get out, and the Caitlyn ult going down on the Morg, but will not take her down. Galio ulting in, but I don't know. Oh, and now the Jhin ult coming out as well. Are we going to see anything come of it? I don't know if there's enough damage for them to actually finish off in this fight.
That Morg snare was
but the Kate's coming back in. It does heavy damage onto the Jhin. Jhin almost goes down, but there's... The Fiddlesticks is there and cleans up 2 of them. What an ult from the Fid. Oh my gosh. And now it's 10-1 in favor of Hot Topic. BaeDCarry has some work to do to pull out of this hole that they were in.
Just when Caitlyn thought she could finally turn the game around.
Oh, Talon pops. But no, Kled going in on the Nasus. Nasus going down to the top lane, kill for kill. We see coming
so
over.
Much action going on. Hot Take is very, very much in the driver's seat of this game. Talon finally does get something on the board for BFC, but it is a very, very tall order right now for BFC to sort of mitigate how hard both their jungler and their top laner are struggling right now. So it is very much BFC's game to sort of catch up, and it is Hot Take's game right now to expand their lead, make sure that Caitlyn doesn't become any more of a monster than she already is, and continue to let that 7-0 Kled decimate this game.
he is rolling over the team right now. I think on the side of BaeDCarry, they're really looking. They're thinking Nasus Caitlyn right now. You know, if we can get the Nasus some stacks, if we can keep the Caitlyn alive, we got a chance here. Because if you know, Nasus gets his Wither off onto the Kled, Caitlyn can do some heavy damage, and if she can get an ult once he's off of Skarl, the rest of their team is kind of in trouble. Nobody has really the flexing ability that the Kled does on the map right now.
Yeah, but one thing to keep in mind, what Fiddlesticks does for your team, not only does he
Oh, we got an ult on the Fid. He gets the Gragas in, but Kate's there. She says, no, you're not taking down my Gragas. But, again, the Kled screaming in from the back saying, I'm taking down all your plans. It doesn't matter what you think. I'm here to do what I want. Gragas falling to the Jhin ult.
And just when we were talking about the Fiddlesticks too, the Fiddlesticks is definitely not a slouch this game at all.
No,
very
Fid
clean ultimates.
Fid's ults have been on point this game. And
Yeah.
BaeDCarry on their back foot, feeling up against the ropes. They have to get something pulled together here quickly, or they don't have much hope.
Yeah, this game is very, very quickly going from bad to worse. Now, we have seen bigger goal leads than this actually go the other way. Notably yesterday's game, which I was a part of. But
True.
But it is still a very, very tall order for BFC to sort of come back. But
yes.
NASA is going very hard.
Not an insurmountable mission, but Kled gets the tower down, goes back onto the Nasus. Nasus saying, no, you screwed up, I'm taking you down. Talon here to back him up. Kled gets his Skarl back, though. Is he going to be able to take down the 3 as Gragas comes in? I don't think he's going to. Talon gets the shutdown, the big shutdown on the Kled. That's 1,000 gold going over to the Talon.
But then we already see the Rift Herald going in, or being taken in response to what was going on in bot lane. So yes, it was quite unfortunate that that 1,000 gold bounty goes over to Talon. But the Rift Herald did go down in response, and if they play it right with this Fiddlesticks, especially having that Rift Herald, they can set up something very, very good. Now, I'm typically in team environments, I'm not...
Oh, Gragas getting caught out in the jungle. Fid says, not today, this is mine.
Typically in these sorts of environments, I would like to see the Rift Herald going on to somebody who isn't the Fiddlesticks, because Fiddlesticks always wants to remain hidden and find that weird angle that nobody's expecting to ult from. But now he gets
agree
caught.
with you there. Fid popping the Zonias. Talon doing a little parkour to get out as the rest of the team shows up, but Kled and Nasus going at it in top lane. Nasus taking a little bit of the worst of the trade.
Yeah,
Galio, excuse me, not Kled. That's not Kled. That is a Galio.
Yeah. Yeah, and we see the Rift Herald going down. The snare. This may be a kill.
We get the kill out onto the Caitlyn from the Jhin ult. The Talon goes in on the Galio up in top lane. Galio a little bit overextended. Nasus trying to chase him down as well. Talon getting some serious damage out of him. I think if he can get the Wither, you're going to take down the Galio. It looks like he might go down, and there's enough to finish him off.
Yeah, absolutely. With the Nasus ghosting, you're almost always going to get the kill, but we see a massive answer from the mid lane. A lot of vision going down. The mid lane turret also went very, very low here. And BaeDCarry just not having a very, very great game on the side of, especially what's going on with the jungle and also in the top side. So they're trying to plug a lot of holes right now in their sinking ship. So it is a very daunting task indeed. And we see the player right here, BaeDCarry. It is BaeDCarry's job to go ahead and try to carry this early game. The Talon has meaningful gold on him, but he's not going to be doing the most amount of damage in these team fights. It is mostly the Caitlyn who wants to sort of poke down this Kled before the fight even starts.
Yeah,
and then look
Talon has to get to the back line.
Yeah, Talon is looking to be enabled by this Caitlyn. So we're going to see how the fights pan out, especially with Gragas sort of engaging these fights. But it looks like the Dragon is just going to go right over to Hot Take. Not a lot of response. Instead, BaeDCarry opts for going for more of the Baron vision. They get a few wards down and then decide to rotate back mid.
That's 3 dragons on the side of Hot Take. Only a 5,000 gold deficit despite being a 10-kill lead. Not that a 5,000 gold deficit is anything to laugh at, but it is a surmountable mountain. Quite a large surmountable mountain, but it is, you know, it is climbable, especially if they can keep the Nasus strong. You know, if he can start tanking up some of the damage that Jin can throw out, that Fiddlesticks can throw out, they might have a chance to take down some of their backline before Kled can decimate the rest of the team. But I think you're going to have to get all of your CC.
I think what they want the most right now, what BFC wants
Be onto the
most
Kled
right now. Sorry, hello?
Hello?
Yeah, sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. My voice was breaking up a little bit.
No worries.
I think that what was happening, well, we just straight up see hot
We
take
see
gold
Baron
for
going
this
down. They're going to take the fight. Kled going in on the Caitlyn. Caitlyn getting super low. Caitlyn goes down fast. Kled on the Gragas too. Double kill over to the Kled. Nasus in the center of it, but what is he going to be able to do? He's going to take down Fiddlesticks really quickly. Big, huge shutdown onto the Nasus from the Fiddlesticks, but he's stuck now in between 4 members of Hot Take, and he just can't take the damage. Kled saying, I still want the Lulu. Is she going to be able to get out? She's got the slow. She's
Lulu
got
should
some
be able
ability to get out of there.
Yeah, but this should still be a substantial amount of, well, I guess goal lead going over to Hot Take.
Hot Take strengthens their lead.
They can't go for the Baron right now. They're very, very low, and they don't have the DPS. Galio and Kled were fairly healthy, but they didn't want to risk it with quite a few members of BaeDCarry still alive. So
Kled, crazy scary right now. 10-1. That is not something that you want to see if you're on the side of BaeDCarry.
yeah. And with Fiddlesticks' death there, every member of Hot Take now has 1 kill. So what that basically says, or sorry, 1 death. And what that basically says is they essentially are very, very comfortable in their goal lead, and they're willing to take, every single one of them is willing to take risks, even if it means getting caught out occasionally. I'm actually very surprised at how well Give Me a Cup Twice is playing, because Fiddlesticks is very, very easily catchable by a Talon Gragas, so he does have a very sizable goal lead and very, very helpful teammates to help him with that, but being able to find these ults time and time again has been very, very huge for Hot Take's game.
It's been key in several of the fights that we've been a part of. Like we were talking about at the beginning of the game, that's kind of what Gragas needed to do, was to get in early on the Fiddlesticks and shut him down in his jungle, and not doing that, all of a sudden now you have you got a pretty scary Scarecrow in the form of a Fiddle right now. He's 3-1 with 6 assists.
Yep.
He's scary.
That's exactly right. And Jin,
the ult coming out from Jin.
Just
not
Baron.
sure what he's shooting at. I think they're just checking Baron.
Yeah, absolutely checking Baron, because they have no vision there. So that's what they're trying to do right now, just trying to establish some vision. And Jin ult going down isn't a huge thing, because Jin ult, as most Jin players know, is very, very situational. Sometimes you don't even have time for it in a fight. So they're okay to just use that to check Baron. Obviously, BFC was not doing something as ambitious as taking Baron. And they're just
I wonder if we're going to
up.
see a fight here. Are they trying to fight? Are they? Oh, Talon goes in on the Morg, and the Morg goes down fast. What a burst from the Talon. He parkours out, but Gragas getting caught out by the Galio. Fiddlesticks ult coming in. Is it going to be enough to take down the Gragas? Yes, it is enough to take down the Gragas. Jin falling low. Jin dies as well. The ults from the Fid have been so good this game. Alien Invasion trying to get some response to it, but I don't think it's enough. Lulu barely getting out from the Fid. The Fid's gonna let her go. Another strong fight on the side of Hot Topic, and BaeDCarry is in a troublesome situation. Nasus, though, trying to make the best of it, trying to push down bot lane. Maybe he can answer and get a tower. He's starting to become a threat now.
He's starting to.
If Hot Topic doesn't become, if Hot Topic doesn't shut this game down really quick. Oh, but Nasus goes down fast. And, you know, he's going to start to present a problem.
his counterpart doing the same thing on the side of the map, but this is the difference in champions. Kled is a very, very fast champion, so he has no trouble at all getting away from his opponents, whereas Nasus has a lot more difficulty doing that, and so he does go down, but neither inhibitor turret going down there. So this is going to be Mountain Soul on the side of Hot Take, and outside of, well, actually, it's actually a very, very good soul for Hot Take to have here, because both, so Fiddlestick's ult is very, very good with it, Kled ult, very good with it, and Morgana ult.
Morgana also good.
3 very, very good ultimates that benefit from this Cloud Soul. That sudden burst of speed where you can move into a better position to either escape the enemy or deal more damage to the enemy. And with how well this game has been going for Hot Take, it's definitely more
Galio going in on the Nasus. He's got a huge minion wave with him. Nasus trying to fight back, but gets knocked down to half health. Galio taking barely any damage in that exchange. Wow. Hot Topic is strong right now. Hot Take is strong right now. Hot Topic.
I mean, after this game, they definitely are going to be a very, very hot topic, because
they're playing very well.
Yeah, this is a very, very commanding lead. This is almost insurmountable. Now, the almost there being, they have had a 5k goal lead for a while now. They really want to start cracking open these inhibitor turrets for some meaningful goal difference, or they can go for the Baron. So they got the mid inhibitor turret very low, so that's what they're trying to do. We may see a Morgana snare into a kill here.
Oh, just misses the snare. Yeah, if they don't keep the pressure on, Nasus, being Nasus, will just turn into Nasus, and he'll be this unkillable dog running around hitting everybody with his giant axe. They really need to take this gold lead that they've got and turn it into some towers down in the base of BaeDCarry. BaeDCarry doing a great job of defending, though, on the backside of that. Oh, Kled goes in. The ult from Jin coming down, but Talon's on the backline. He takes out Jin quickly. Is it going to be enough? I think it is. The ult from Talon comes out. Jin falls, but Talon's going to fall quickly as well. Kled going in. He gets the Nasus, and the Nasus saying, I'm going to try. He does everything that he can, but it's not going to be enough. He falls super low, and he's going to drop BaeDCarry in a really bad spot now as Galio cleans up. Kled going in. Right up to the fountain. Oh! And tanks the fountain laser, giving the shutdown over to the Lulu.
Wow.
Could have.
Yeah, I think if that had not happened, I think you could maybe have seen at least one Nexus turret going down. I don't know if they would have ended just because of how low death timers are. One thing that was very important there in the beginning of that fight was Talon sort of going in on the Jin, absolutely doing everything he could to kill that Jin, and Jin finally did go down, but Jin isn't really the biggest threat on Hot Take's team right now. So Jin was actually able to do a lot of escaping from the Talon, and Talon had to blow everything to kill Jin, and I wonder if Talon had simply not flashed, if his Ignite would have been enough to kill the Jin. Now, we don't live in that universe,
right?
but it is definitely something to keep in mind, because now Talon doesn't have his flash anymore, so he doesn't have as many options here to sort of get to the back line. He did a very good job there of killing Jin, but it was at the cost of an inhibitor, and now it may be even more than that, as trading 1-for-1 is usually okay, but not on the sort of lowest, I guess, performing team member of Hot Take.
Right, Nasus getting caught out. The Galio, the Jin, the Fid, all take him down quite quickly.
Yeah.
There's not much he can do.
Yeah, and a lot of damage coming in from the Jin as well, on top of everything else, so it is definitely not a very simple game, as Caitlyn in a very interesting spot.
Caitlyn trying to throw down damage onto the Kled. The Kled just, I want the fight, he says. Gets the bear trap on, but she gets out. She gets the Lulu ult. The Galio ult coming in onto the Jin. The Jin gets taken super low. Gragas super low. Goes for the Zonias. The Fid ult coming in again. The on-point Fid ults are just destroying this team right now. Fid does go down, though. Tanks too much from the tower As Hot Take pushes in, this might be the game.
It should be the game. Everybody was in the top lane for that last fight. Everybody.
The snare, the taunt, the knockup. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. But Hot Take in a crazy good spot. If Kled can pull us off, he gets the kill onto the Caitlyn, he gets the kill onto the Lulu, or that goes down to Mego on the Morgan. Now
so
Kled's
much
saying,
damage.
Let's take the Nasus also. Oh! Gets him down, even though he loses Skarl with the huge Q from the Nasus, but it's not quite enough. I don't think that BaeDCarry has anything they can do here.
And that should be the game.
That is the game. Hot Take defeating BaeDCarry 32-10.
Well, that was definitely a very, very climactic ending to what was a very, very slow start of a game. In the early game, there weren't a lot of kills going down, and very suddenly, Hot Take.
No, early game was rather slow. Not too much action, and then everything.
Yeah, and then Hot Take just repeatedly with those very, very good ultimates.
I have to say the fiddles were almost a thing of beauty for this whole game. Every time he ulted, there was somebody just within an inch of death that he was able to take down, and getting his spear off on the ones that were still alive just allowed his team to just mop everything up.
Absolutely. He enabled so much of what Hot Take did. And also Axiom's Kled. Oh my god. You don't normally see a 14-2 Kled into a Nasus, but when you do, it's because your jungler is doing a lot as well. So Axiom heavily, heavily punishing that Nasus pick. My thoughts are that pick was supposed to counter the Kled because it was picked directly after it during the draft. But it did not go very well for BFC, unfortunately.
No, Kled able to get the early damage off onto the Nasus, and he never really recovered. Vid started coming in, throwing down his ganks, keeping the pressure on the top lane. Top lane was never able to get going. The closest they were able to get as far as damage going was Caitlyn, and she's just too squishy.
Yeah, Caitlyn can only do so much. Like, Caitlyn has one gap closer that she can use to escape, and that's basically it. You can't escape from every single Kled ulti, Fiddlesticks ulti, Galio ulti, like, or Jhin ulti. Like,
right?
You have so many, or Morgana snare. You have so many threats by the point in time that, you know, Nasus and Gragas already not having a very good game. Now, wait till Fiddlesticks and Kled start showing a bot lane, and then all of a sudden you have a huge, huge goal lead on the side of Hot Take. So
congratulations to Hot Take and their exceptional performance tonight. BaeDCarry, fantastic job. I think they just I think they were expecting the Nasus to counter the Kled, is I think where they had put their thoughts of the win was on the Nasus, you know. All right, just, you know, we'll get Nasus ahead and game over, you know. And when that didn't happen, they didn't really have an answer to what Hot Take was throwing at them.
Yeah, and with the Predator Gragas too, it's definitely something that would have worked into Hot Take's team, but you have to be a bit more aggressive with that pick. When you're going as a Gragas into a Fiddlesticks, you will get outscaled. So you know that from champion selection. So you need to play around that. You need to go very, very heavily invade. You need to get those aggressive wards down, ones that, you know, Fiddlesticks probably won't expect, especially because Fiddlesticks doesn't really have a sweeper until he hits 6. So his little scarecrow things, they don't actually see anything until he hits level 6. So it would have actually been very, very beautiful to see some invasion going on, but we didn't see a whole lot of it, and a lot of it was also just because of how dominant Axiom was in that lane.
Axiom dominated his lane. That was a really epic performance out of the Kled. Are we interviewing the winner's captain?
Megalo.
Is that Megalo?
Yep. Hey,
All
Megalo,
right.
congratulations on your win. How does it feel to put that one under your belt?
Oh, it feels really good. We had a little bit of hiccup last week with one of our players just having some in real life issues. So it feels really good to come back with a new player and get the win.
Absolutely. So, talk to me a little bit about your lane with Fallen there, because it seemed like it wasn't going 100% the way you expected it, but the top side simultaneously of the map was working out really well for you. So, what were your thoughts sort of in laning phase?
Yeah, I mean they have a good bot lane, and Caitlyn Lulu is pretty oppressive. It's hard to engage on them, and they have good poke. And our Jin decided to take a few bad trades where he would just get chunked out early on. He'd like walk back a lane, get half his health taken. But we knew that if we just held down, our top side was winning, and scale up, we would win. And that ended up playing out really well because Axiom popped off, and so did Fiddle. Like that was crazy.
Yeah, talk to me, or how were comms exactly when Axiom got that solo double kill that definitely put him on the map or on
That
the
was
board?
pretty. Yeah, that was pretty pog. He had like 30 health or something, if that, and he survives. And yeah, that was awesome.
At that point, it was kind of looking a little bit grim in the top lane. Actually, you guys were starting to take a little bit of pressure and a little bit of damage, and then that tower dive put Kled on the path to victory, and he never left it. What did you guys? What were your thoughts around the Fiddle once you saw the Gragas pick? Were you trying to keep Fid in the jungle the whole time, and force Gragas to try and invade, or were you hoping that if you kept moving around the map, Gragas would be more of a gank and kind of leave Fid alone?
So I'm not actually super familiar with Fiddlesticks. It's something our jungle plays really well. So I asked him when we saw the Gragas if there was something he really feels comfortable playing into it, and he said, "Get me Fiddle," and obviously knows the matchup very well because he played around it super well. I think it works well because Gragas isn't the fastest clearer in the game, so that just gives Fiddle more opportunities to gank.
Absolutely. And that Fiddlesticks did huge work for your team because the enemy jungler did not have a great game at all. So, massive response from Fiddlesticks there. And I think that's it for me for questions. Do you have anything else?
Not really. I think you guys played fantastically. Great job on your win today.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Yep. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Folks. That is going to be it from both me and Ignite. Ignite, any final words before we wander off for the night?
Great game for both teams. It sucks to be the loser. So great game to BaeDCarry, and great game on Hot Take as well. You guys played fantastically.
Yep. Have a good night, everybody. See
Take
you
care.
next time.